Tom.
This is the call to order of the City of Southfield Planning Commission. The date is March 25th. The time is 6:30 p.m. We start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Bowling, we got roll call.
Commissioner Bernuti,
Present.
Commissioner Gruber,
Present.
Commissioner Martin,
Present.
Commissioner Dr. Stevens-Gunn,
Here.
Commissioner Willis,
I'm here.
Commissioners Goodwin, Dye, and Griffiths are excused, but we do have a quorum.
Thank you. With that, can we have perhaps Commissioner Martin approval of the agenda, motion for approval of the agenda?
To the chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a suggestion that we move items D and E down to after item F, so that the smaller items can be discussed, and I don't think they're going to take long.
Through the chair, because the first item was, D&E was postponed from a previous meeting, we would like to have that done first.
I withdraw my,
Thank you.
Then we can still accept the motion to accept as is.
to accept the agenda as provided.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Bernuti. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's been moved, seconded, and adopted. Mr. Pazon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First item up is a conditional rezoning request.
Through the chair.
Yes.
No announcement.
Oh, sorry, announcements, communications. My apologies. We don't have any announcements or communications at this time.
Okay, or communications, I would like to acknowledge that the planner is here, Mr. Crowe. Good to see you, and it's an interesting walker you have.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Pazon.
First, as I noted, item D, the conditional rezoning 26-0001, which is paired with the following special land use, 226-002. We're going to kind of present on them, and then you'll do two public hearings and then motions separately for each. Those are both recommendations to council. This is related to 27777 Franklin, which was before the body back on in February, was postponed to the date certain of today for the public hearing and recommendation at the request of the applicant. So this is regional center zoning. They are looking to rezone a portion of the site, as you can see in the red. It's about 4.7 acres from the RC to the I-1 sub-district is the 8-mile frontage, which is the only district that really allows landscape contractor yards. In this case, as I noted, a conditional rezoning rather than a straight rezoning. We'll go over this a little bit. Here's the current zoning. As you can see, regional center, master plan, office research, smart zone. We have the area in question highlighted on each. They are proposing a variety of conditions. I'll go through these. The first set is permitted uses. Use of the property shall be limited to an outdoor landscape storage facility accessory to a landscape contracting business within the adjoining office building. The facility may store landscape materials, equipment, trailers, and work vehicles. There'll be no manufacturing or material processing activities on the site. Retail sales to the general public shall not occur except for limited order pickup incidental to the actual landscape contractor business. Outdoor storage shall remain within designated areas shown on the approved site plan and shall not encroach on required parking, circulation routes, landscaping, or setbacks. In addition to the proposed use, the conditional rezoning would also allow for general office space and accessory buildings for any permitted uses, which means it would retain some of its RC-related activities. Site layout, screening, and standards. This really kind of boils down to they'll conform to the site plan and operate within the city's ordinance, or discuss outdoor storage being in designated areas and being fenced and screened, yard perimeter being screened with the existing and supplemental landscape plantings and solid fencing. Bulk materials to not be stacked higher than the screening walls. Junk waste, debris, and inoperable licensed equipment will not be stored on site. Existing landscaping on site shall remain or be replaced in kind, or additional similar landscape will be provided detailed for the site plan. Site lighting will comply with the site lighting ordinances of the city. Access will be permitted only at drive locations on the site plan, and that they will have stormwater controls in place per the requirements of the city engineering department. Operations, all operations will comply with the city's noise ordinances. All fuel, chemical, and hazardous materials storage shall occur inside a building or approved containers per the fire marshal service. Fuel tanks will only be used by the business. Public fueling will not be permitted. Maintenance and compliance, owner or tenant shall maintain all fencing, landscaping, pavement, site improvements in good condition. All screening shall be maintained or replaced as necessary to ensure effective opacity. Property shall be free of windblown materials or debris. Dumpsters and refuse containers will be fully enclosed and located in approved screened areas. Failure to comply with these conditions constitutes a violation of ordinance and may be enforced as a nuisance. So basically, the second two slides is mostly just, they will comply with all the applicable ordinances. First one was the use restrictions. This is the existing site as it sits now. Sun Communities, which was a kind of a glamping camping organization, they still have offices in the city, had an area where they were doing like demos or models here for 2 years under temporary approvals issued by the zoning board. This is a glamping site photo from when they had, where that was being used by Sun back in 2022. That's actually when the fencing went up. This is current conditions. This is from Center Drive. This is actually in the site looking out towards Center Drive, and then this is looking kind of where it's gated at the end going towards Center Drive and gated into the fenced area. This is kind of across the parking lot looking toward that area. This is showing the area kind of where this driveway next to where this is proposed abuts the senior apartments. This is the hedge that's along that side on the Brookdale Apartments. This is the revised site plan after some discussion, some tweaks were made. As you can see, they've had an area designated on the adjacent office property there now. It's bubbled out as that's where the staff parking is going to be for this operation. We did do an overall parking calculation for the entire complex, including the landscape yard, and they exceed the requirement by about, I think it was like 10 or 15%. So they definitely have sufficient parking for the office tower plus this use. Probably because we lowered our standards back in 2018, and this was built prior to that. As you can see, the top right there is their like shop building. That's a conceptual for the type of prefab building they're looking at. They do show on their site plan on the southwest side some fueling tanks for their equipment. Example of that is shown, I believe, from their current yard in the middle, and then they've got a detail there for the fencing. A note of the conceptual shop image. This is a landscape plan. One's a full colored. You can kind of see the brighter landscaping along the Brookdale Apartments. They're adding trees on that side. They're adding some gap trees along the Center Drive. There's a fair amount of landscaping already around the other parts of the perimeter. And then they've got the detailed landscape plan on the right showing where their existing plantings are and where they're adding plantings to provide some transition to the apartments. The petitioner is present, and they have a short presentation. I'm going to hand that off right now.
Thank you. If you may, could you give your name and your current working address?
My name is Chris Haboyan. I work at Redico, which is at One Town Square in Southfield, right here in Michigan. This is Ted Spicer. He's with Continuum Services.
And could we have his address too before he...
Sure. Ted Spicer, President of Continuum Services. Our current address is 23640 Research Drive in Farmington Hills.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, counselors, and thank you all for being here and for listening to us. We appreciate it. As mentioned, my name is Chris Haboyan. I'm with Redico. And what we're talking to you about tonight is what Tom just went over, which is a proposal to conditionally rezone a little under 5 acres in the rear of the American Center office building in Southfield. I'm going to go through, I'm going to present it to you tonight. I'm going to tell you why I think it's a great idea, and we're going to ask for your support and an approval at the end. So just a quick background on Redico. We are a national real estate developer, investor, and operator that was founded and based here in Southfield in 1967. We've remained here since. We have a large national presence with a lot of team members and a lot of assets across the country from Maine and Florida out to Hawaii, but we are a Southfield-based company. And since 2024, we have signed 44 new office leases in our 3 buildings here in Southfield for over 400,000 square feet. We've invested more than $11.5 million into tenant improvements in those buildings. And this year, we're scheduled to invest more than $10 million into our properties. We're also a Center City Advisory Board participant and active in a number of organizations throughout the city. As I mentioned, we've been in Southfield for a long time, and we've built or owned and managed many of the most prominent buildings across our city, as shown here. We are here with Continuum Services. Continuum is a facilities and landscape management company. They didn't used to be who you bring into a Class A office building. However, times have changed in the last 10 years and especially in the last few years. The office market continues to face unprecedented challenges recently, particularly due to COVID, remote working, inflation, and now artificial intelligence. Nonetheless, as mentioned, we do continue to invest boldly in this city, in our properties, so they remain viable and competitive long-term. For some context for you, in the Southfield market, our Class A office availability rate for buildings that are at least 20,000 square feet is 38%. For context, Southeast Michigan, the region broadly, that number is 22%. In Troy, that number is 26.3%. And in Detroit CBD, it's 9.37%. That's according to Signature Associates at a report they released in maybe November last year. To put in further context, just last year, the city lost 234,000 square feet of leased office space. They were scheduled to lose around 400,000 square feet and have 5 straight years of negative demand. That is not a criticism of the city. That is the reality of what we are facing across the country, unfortunately, as an office landlord. Our banks are no longer taking 8 floors. Law firms are no longer taking 10 floors. So we need to find new tenants to help us fill those spaces. Continuum, as mentioned, is a full-service facilities management company. It supports commercial, industrial, and residential properties across the country, particularly here in Southfield. In fact, in 2007, it was founded right here in Southfield. It's the winner of numerous awards, including Southfield's Best Landscaping Award and Small Business Excellence Award. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, fortunate, today it's not a small business anymore. It's a big business. And it has 2 offices now in Detroit and Farmington Hills, and that's what we're hoping to do here, is we're hoping to consolidate those 2 offices here at Southfield. Continuum has over 800 team members. Of those, we would have at least 100 in the office on a daily basis, plus another around 75 that would park at the office to get together with their team members and head out in trucks to their sites. As somebody, I worked in this office building at both Taft and Sun. I know this area very, very well. The Coney Islands in the area, the Starbucks in the area, they could use another couple hundred workers coming there, buying the coffees, buying the omelets. It can be quiet over there. We lost the Leos on Northwestern and haven't been able to replace it. The Embassy Suites has not been redeveloped despite the numerous tickets that have gone to it. We need to invest in this area, and we're talking about a $1 million investment here. Continuum works at high-quality properties. Over 116 of those locations are in Southfield. Their clients include Blue Cross Blue Shield, Clarions Technologies, Lear Corporation, Redico, my company, Huntington National Bank, and Ashley Capital, to name a few. Those are Tier 1 Class A companies. Again, we consider this an opportunity for Southfield. This opportunity does require that we conditionally rezone 4 to 5 acres in the rear of the site to industrial, but that is limited to an outdoor landscape storage facility accessory to an office use. I think it's critical that it's noted that because it's a conditional rezoning, we are proposing to give up any other use of this site. It cannot be used for any other industrial use other than landscape storage. And you're going to have an office lease in our building to do that. This would establish Southfield as the home base for more than 800 team members, benefiting the city and local businesses. As mentioned, it's a $1 million plus project investment into what is 32,000 square feet of our hardest to lease space. This building, I'll skip forward for a second. If you look just to the bottom of our office building, you'll see what looks like a two-story building, and that's what we call the atrium. That is long vacant space. It's almost like, we don't make office space this way anymore. It's got little spots for shops and whatnot, and it's very hard to lease to your typical Class A tenant. But we do have an affiliate company here in Continuum Services that fits perfectly for it. And we've priced it out. We have a lease ready to sign. It would be 10 years plus renewal options and a long-term commitment to, again, a huge part of the building that we have not been able to lease for 6, 7 plus years. We think it's worth noting, as Tom did, that the storage site was previously used by Sun Communities under a temporary approval to construct and store their glamping structures. We can't go on a temporary basis because of the size of the investment in moving this many employees, which is why we need the permanent right and a conditional rezoning. We're not asking for any public money, any tax exemptions or variance requested. We're just asking to be able to comply with the industrial code. We are located within Southfield Centropolis Smart Zone, which does focus for growing, thriving, and innovative companies, which we think TEDS is. And it's notable that this is really the perfect location for Continuum to service all of its customers because Southfield is the center of it all. It really is. And it is perfect for TEDS company to consolidate from Detroit and Farmington. I want to give you an aerial of this view, and you'll see our site in yellow, or highlighted in yellow. But I also want to note the 3 orange areas around you, which are the city's DPW site, the county's road commission site, and the U.S. Army Reserve sites. These are in here because our zoning classification is regional center. Regional center and industrial are the regional center permits industrial uses, just only right now for attached to a government use, a government facility. Our existing zoning code permits industrial just for government facilities, which is why we have the DPW right by us, the Oakland County Road Commission, and the U.S. Army Reserves. These are all very visible sites to all of our tenants, to all of our local residents here. So we don't think that this is out of character with the site at all. For project details, as mentioned, the site is currently enclosed by a 6-foot-high solid fence, as well as dozens of trees, and we're proposing to add many more. All materials within the site will be stored at least 1 foot below fencing. That is in keeping with code, and that's what we'll be doing. There will be storage for 15 to 20 trucks and trailers, landscaping materials such as plants, mulch, and salt, and ancillary equipment. The shop that we're proposing is a maximum of 30 foot high for shop work. We would have hours of operation from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. As mentioned, the storage site use will be only accessory to an office use. It'll be about 100 daily office workers plus 65 to 80 daily parkers. This is a low-impact commercial reuse which leverages existing infrastructure and is sustainable. We're not dramatically changing things. We're not using a bunch of plastic or chemicals. And again, we're not requesting any variances. For background on Ted's company, this is the quality of what we're talking about. Ted can tell us more about it, but all vans, trucks, and trailers are less than 3 years old. All the facilities are new, well-financed, and top of class for his business. I do want to address prior comments. As mentioned at our last meeting, there were questions about parking. We have 2,153 existing project parking spaces. 2,081 are required, and we have 72 extra spaces available by my count. And I actually didn't know, Tom, if the code was changed and it permits, it requires even less. That's good news.
Those are the current standards that used to be higher.
Okay. In terms of view mitigation, as noted, we've added 6 evergreen trees between our property and the senior housing center to help block the view, for a total of 15 added trees between the properties, in addition to 11 existing trees. So just to restate that, since our last meeting, we've added 6 more to the 11 that we're adding. So now we're at to 9 previously. So we'd have 15 added to 11 existing, 26 total trees blocking that view. Additionally, we were asked for pictures and further information of what the storage would look like. These are pictures from the winter because I was here in February. So there isn't a lot of materials. He has materials on a seasonal basis. But you can tell, you can kind of see that maybe that's mulch in the picture on the right. You can see how it's stacked about a foot below the top of that. But those would be the screening containers that we're proposing in the site. And it is worth noting, we did, before our last meeting, we did receive a letter of opposition that was from a nearby commercial condo association. Since then, there were a few more letters received. But it is worth noting they are all from the same opponent, which is Christine Jonah. Her contact information is in all the zoning letters. They control a condo association. They wrote a letter. She personally wrote a letter, and you'll see the other 2 are on their behalf as well. In short, they allege that the use is not consistent with the area zoning and ask for you guys to oppose us. But as I note, per City Code, Article 4, Section 5.281, outside storage shall be permitted only in the industrial district or as part of a government facility in the regional center district. We are currently in the regional center district. We are just not a governmental facility. It is in keeping with the use of the area. The area already has over 100 acres of this use between the U.S. Army Reserve Center, the city DPW, and the Oakland County Road Commission. This proposal has received letters of support from Sun Communities and the Taft Law Firm, which are the building's 2 biggest tenants, almost 50% of it, as well as Cushman and Wakefield, which is the building's leasing broker, and Village Green, which is the area's largest residential property manager and nearby tenant. One of the letters that was submitted was from Barton Mallow. They own the building. If you see the E in sight on that, it's covering a building, and they own that building. They initially submitted on Christine Jonah's urging, they submitted an opposition letter. We talked with them. We sent them our site plan that has been submitted with you. We told them what we are doing. They have formally withdrawn their opposition letter. That is because we're not proposing something crazy. We are a resident of Southfield. We do want to do this the right way and comply with all the code, all the regulations as they are. Finally, there was a recent memorandum alleging that this is spot zoning. Again, that is from a law firm on behalf of Christine Jonah, who is also behind all the 4 opposition letters. And we think this is contrary to both Michigan law and the city's development guidelines, and we are very confident that it is not spot zoning. So with that, I'll be done talking and open up to you guys. You can ask myself questions or Ted again, who's the president of Continuum.
Through the chair, Chris, they have to open the public hearing
Okay.
first, and then after the public hearing, you can come back and address the
Okay,
commission.
we'll sit down then.
Yes, please, thank you. This is an opportunity for the public hearing. If anyone has concerns or in any way wants to address the issue presented, you have an opportunity now. I'd like to just highlight 2 points. One is that you'll have 3 minutes to make whatever comments that you would like. That we would ask that you keep your notes, comments not personal or abusive in any way. For anyone who presents, I'm going to assume that you've had an opportunity to take a look at the entire public comment that's on the handout that was given to you. And with that, I would like to open up the floor for public comment for the 27777 Franklin. This is for the conditional rezoning. If anyone would like to approach, please do so now. And for each of you presenting, could you give your name and your current working address?
Yes, good evening. My name is Ron Reynolds. I'm the attorney who submitted the spot zoning memorandum, which I believe is now before the city attorney, and she indicated she's going to take a position on that, but not before tonight. My office is located at 40900 Woodward Avenue in Bloomfield Hills. I'm a former Southfield resident and served 20 years on the City Act 78 Police and Fire Commission. So I'm know a lot of folks in Southfield. The petitioner indicated that they think that they want to comply with the ordinance and the regulations, but my position is they cannot comply under Michigan law. There was no reference made to the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act, which is what gives you authority to do what you're doing tonight, the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. And the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act requires that zoning districts have uniformity with regulations within the district. And out of that provision in the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act, the Michigan courts have come to outlaw what they call spot zoning. And what spot zoning is creating small little areas within larger districts that are inconsistent with the district. I'm not going to get too heavy into the legal argument there because I think that's before the city attorney currently, but spot zoning is illegal in Michigan, and the Michigan Supreme Court has made that clear. I want to address the government uses. As indicated by the petitioner, the RC zoning does allow for governments to put certain uses in, but the petitioner is not a government, number one. Number two, the federal government can do whatever it wants on any property it owns. It is not subject to the Southfield zoning ordinance. There's a supremacy clause in the United States Constitution, and they don't follow local rules and regulations. I am guessing that the Road Commission also, which is a separate constitutional entity in Michigan, does not follow the Southfield ordinances for property they own. But what you see when you saw that slide was you have two road-related uses there, both by the DPW in Southfield and by the Road Commission, and they are on essentially the freeway. They're not in the center of the district. The interesting thing about that picture was in the center of the district is the little piece, the 4-acre parcel that they want to rezone. It is not on the periphery like the other properties they showed. So our position is simply that the law does not allow this industrial zoning to be dropped in the center of the regional center zoning. The zoning ordinance was updated in 2024, August of 2024. There was no provision for this. The master plan was created in 2022, clearly doesn't provide for this type of usage.
I'm sorry, the 3 minutes are up.
Thank you.
And if you have something, take 30 seconds to wrap up. I would,
I think that most of everything is in my memo, so yes,
Okay.
I think I'm good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
The memo is in all your packets as well.
Is there anyone else who would like to address this?
Yes.
Please, and could you give us your name and working address?
My name is Patrick Schrock, and I'm with the American Commerce Center Association. We represent the association with the buildings around the American building. My address is 39533 Woodward Avenue, Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. I also work for the developer that constructed a lot of the buildings in the American Commerce Center. So we feel very passionate about this issue because we feel, of course, it doesn't fit. I'm probably going to tell you a couple things that are already in those memos that we sent over. In addition to us sending memos, there's another building owner and a tenant. We asked some other people. They said it's not their policy to send because they don't want to ruffle feathers. Somebody might have changed somebody else's mind, maybe for business reasons. I don't know. I think the petitioner was throwing a lot of dirt by mentioning names, which is, I was told, don't make this personal, and I think he made it personal, which is, I'm not here to throw mud. Once this is over, it's over. May the best person win. So my question to you is, why are you considering this issue? Is it because of the vacancy rate, the petitioner, and the amount of real estate they own, trying to fill up office space? These are not reasons to rezone. I mean, if you want to do that, change the master plan. The other issue I wanted to make was about the industrial. You know, I think a lot of those uses predates the current zoning. So I, as a kid, I used to drive up and down, 696. The Oakland County Yard was there, the Army base was there, and this was all before the regional center zoning. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know what year the regional center zoning took place, but the Oakland County Yard was, I looked at a map, and it was there from the 60s. So I don't know why. This is not a mechanism to do what they want. I mean, especially since they're so close to Telegraph Road where they can get a yard. I mean, we're a stone's throw from Telegraph Road where it's more befitting. So this is not a personal issue for us.
We have 30 seconds.
Thank you. So it's not a personal issue. If you guys agree to it, that's fine. But it doesn't fit. And I believe that you guys are all rational people, and you can see that if you colored their spot, it would be a different color, it would be an island. It doesn't quite fit. And if you can answer my questions, I'd be happy. And same thing for the petitioner. Why are you doing this? Economic reasons. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address this issue? Anyone? There's going to be a continuing for the second part of the same address following the next present by the same company. But I'm going to take the opportunity now to recognize letters. We oftentimes receive letters. We have a number of them. We have a letter today from Cushman Wakefield. We have one from Taft, Barton, Marlowe.
Mr. Chairman, there's some letters that are on the opposite, they're double-sided. Like I saw you, Sun Communities was on the back of the first letters there because of the way it printed. You'll have to flip them because sometimes there's
Gotcha.
2 letters on one sheet.
And through the chair, just
We have
maybe as you're going through, just either say they're in favor or against.
I
just
have
to
not read
summarize.
them, and I'm not sure if I have an opportunity, so if I could present and just assure everyone that we will receive this,
okay.
and we will make sure we read them. Okay. And so we have Village Green, Sun Corporation, American Commerce Center, we have New Oakland Family Center, Magna Electronics, Barksdale Senior Community, Hilger Hammond, and I believe that's all. If I've overlooked one, I am absolutely sure they will be made part of our record and recognized as a statement made during this hearing. Okay.
Through the chair, I just want to mention also to the public that any letters that we receive will be part of your recommendation packet to the city council.
Right.
So they will also be aware of any letters that have been received.
Thank you for that. Okay, commissioners. Let me start with Commissioner Gruber.
Could we have the petitioner back up in case there's any specific
Thank
questions?
you.
And again, I'd ask the planning commission just to focus your questions on the conditional rezoning only, not the special land use at this time.
So are there going to be big trucks coming in, like at 7 a.m. in the morning? I understand that you're rezoning, and, you know, a lot of people are concerned with the way it's going to look. But I'm also concerned with those apartments with the senior living. Is it going to be loud, like at 7 a.m.?
We're going to have, like your Ford F-150, 250 type truck coming in. They'll be really coming in, well, they'll be parked there. They'll be really just leaving. You'll have people, just like we have people at our office building that start parking there at, 6 in the morning. You'll have people parking there, they'll get into a truck, 4 of them will leave. But yeah, some mornings it might be at 6 a.m. to go, do snow plow,
So
things
how
like
does
that.
the mulch get there? Like,
mulch
what
gets-
kind of a truck brings the mulch, for example?
I mean,
That's what I'm thinking.
We'll have
about.
to have a drop-off. There will be, occasional drop-offs.
Yeah, there'll be limited times that we will receive larger bulk deliveries, but it's no different than the building receives semi-deliveries of food or janitorial
Okay.
supplies today.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
we regularly have semi-trucks coming into the building all day.
Oh, okay.
I mean, even your paper shredder is a semi-truck.
Okay.
So,
All right, okay, that's all I have for right now.
Commissioner Bernuti.
Thank you. Pardon me, in reference to Commissioner's question about the trucks, how many will be coming in starting at 7 o'clock in the morning?
Thank you for the question. So, as Chris pointed out, really what we're using the space for is to park our truck and trailer combinations overnight. Our crews will be departing early in the morning and doing work at thousands of sites we service throughout southeast Michigan. So we're anticipating between 20 and 30 pickup truck with trailer combinations that our team members will climb into and depart the site, returning at the end of the day, and then they'll go home. So we won't do any work actually in the site.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Martin.
To make sure I have a clear understanding, your vehicles will be parked there. The individuals will drive their own personal cars and park in the parking lot and using the trucks that park there overnight. The trucks that's where your employees get into the trucks and leave, and then bring the trucks back in the evening. All right. The
Exactly.
supplies or the goods that they're using in doing their landscaping or things in other areas, that will be there if they need it to go into their trucks and then leave with that?
yeah, they leave
So-
it, they take it to the site, they disperse it, they plant it, they install it. But it's not people don't come to the site to pick up. It's not a retail location. They take it, they get a bulk drop, they take that to, to this office building, to different office buildings.
So you're saying with the deliveries, you might get a bulk load of mulch, and the trucks that need mulch will load it into their pickup trucks and leave with that, and no one's coming in, individuals aren't coming in to get supplies. It's just your vehicles getting the materials and taking it with them, and it's from a bulk drop-off that you have. I assume that you'll have different types of deliveries, mulch, dirt, landscape, for landscaping, sod, what type of materials would be dropped off in bulk?
Historically, we utilize mulch mostly, and again, as you can imagine, it's very seasonal. Early in the season, we'll get mulch deliveries, but then that goes out to sites. Occasionally, we'll get some plant material, both flowers as well as small trees and shrubs. Those, again, will turn out within the week, back out to the sites that they're going to be installed at. We don't normally receive sod deliveries. That normally is delivered directly to the job site.
Are large quantities of materials dropped off at work sites, or are you, I guess what I'm trying to find out, the pickup trucks that you have are carrying things for smaller service areas that you service, smaller businesses that you service?
That's correct.
Rather than large
From
businesses?
From an efficiency perspective, we're going to deliver as much directly to the site as we can to avoid handling it. Pardon me. But there are occasions where we're going to get a delivery of mulch that will go out to several small sites, and that will be loaded in one of our trucks and leave it.
No further questions at this time. I might come up with it. Thanks for that.
Commissioner Stevens-Gunn.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to applaud the petitioner's work to inform your neighbors, to inform the community about exactly what it is you're doing, and to solicit support for those efforts. Based on what our role is as a planning commission, I see no opposition to your conditional rezoning.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you. And any other questions from commissioners? And I think I shared that with you, with Commissioner Stevens Gunn. And so with that,
Through the chair, I want to address a couple of comments that came up.
please.
As you know, we take spot zoning very seriously, and we've, in my almost 16 years tenure, we look at all the definitions of what a spot zone is, but we have been consistent that if there's a rezoning that's proposed for under 1 acre, among other things, that is how we've considered a spot zone. This is 4.8 acres. So we certainly don't feel like it's a small parcel that's being submitted into, a district that's not, compliant or compatible. The Michigan Zoning Enabling Act was referenced, but the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act allows for conditional rezoning. So the applicant, it's a one-way proposal where the applicant can propose the conditional rezoning and remove any of the uses that might have unintended consequences or that the city is uncomfortable with. I know we get tripped over the term industrial district because it's the industrial district under special land use is the only thing that allows for contractor yards without any ancillary showroom or storage use, including landscape contractors' offices and yards. So that was the only district for this use. And they proposed it with additional landscaping and so forth. This is not like a planned unit development. We can't negotiate. So someone asked, why are we considering it? Well, every applicant is allowed due process. Whether we recommend in favor or against it, every applicant has a right to come before for you as a recommending body and then city council. And the fact that this is not a retail operation, it's open to the public. It's not like the 8 Mile landscaping with piles of mulch that are 30 feet high. There's a lot of reasons why this is a much more compatible related use because it's servicing other office centers, not only in the RC district, but throughout the city. So there's multiple layers that we look at. I do not consider this a spot zone. It's almost 5 acres. If the applicant had proposed a straight rezoning to industrial only, I'd be recommending against it because most of those uses in the industrial district would be incompatible with this. We also look at the past site usage with the temporary sun storage. Before that, there was a lot of storage vehicles and abandoned vehicles on the site. The site wasn't being well taken care of. It wasn't landscaped. So there's a whole history with this site. The operations with the smaller vehicles, they come in the morning and leave in the afternoon. The fact that they're going to bring 100 additional office workers, that's great. That's not a zoning issue per se, although offices are permitted in both the RC and in the industrial district. So if we're looking just at the conditional rezoning for all the things that I pointed out, we're comfortable making a favorable recommendation to you. And if there's no further questions, Mr. Payson can read our recommendation with conditions into the record.
I do have a question to you, Mr. Crowe, and that is, an attorney presented that there's a legal opinion that perhaps may happen sooner or later. What is our role as to that legal opinion?
Well, I kind of outlaid my position on the spot zoning. However, I'm not the city attorney. We have corresponded with the city attorney, and she had said that she could not get an opinion by today. However, she will have an opinion before it gets to city council. So your recommendation in her opinion would be considered when it gets to the city council's level. The only other option is to postpone to a date certain. The applicant is asked based on timing. They would like a recommendation one way or the other tonight, just so this can move to city council. So that was another option that we were considering, but it's the applicant's request to get a recommendation from you and let the city attorney weigh in with her opinion prior to the council deliberation.
I personally would not ask that they come back, so. Commissioners, you've heard Planner Crowe, you've heard the comments. Any further questions as a result of that? Commissioner Martin?
I just wanted to point out, in looking at the map of the surrounding areas, most of the area around you are businesses. You have one residential area for the seniors and a small portion of the apartment buildings. The other areas are all commercial areas, so just a point of information, that's all.
And I saw that as part of the site plan too. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Pezon?
I don't have any further comments, sir. Should I proceed with the recommended resolution? Or?
Yes.
Yep. Going to move on to our recommended resolution. We are making a favorable recommendation at this time. Just get to my verbiage here. It's a little easier to read. I know it's small on the screen, but because of the number of conditions, size-wise, it got a little challenging. We are making a favorable recommendation. We are recommending the Planning Commission make a favorable recommendation to the City Council, PCZR 260001, to conditionally rezone 4.87 acres in the southeast corner of 27777 Franklin from regional center to I-1 industrial 8-mile frontage subdistrict based on the following factors with the following conditions. First off, the Southfield Comprehensive Master Plan indicates office research for the use of the parcel, which calls for corporate and medical offices, research facilities, and television stations. The restrictive set of uses that would be permitted by the conditional rezoning ties the landscape contractor's yard to being accessory to an office use in the office building on the site, and as such would be accessory to a corporate office as the primary use. We would note that a couple of conditions. One is our standard condition we're putting on that the execution of and recording of the conditional rezoning agreement is subject to approval, review and approval by the city attorney, and has to occur within 6 months of the enactment of the rezoning. We've added that 6 months just to make sure those documents get done and recorded in a timely fashion and aren't hanging out there a year or more. We had some issues with that. Here's the conditions I discussed earlier when we went through the presentation, but I'll go over them again, kind of overview. First portion is the permitted uses, which really restricts it to the landscape contractor accessory to the office use in the primary building. No retail sales, no manufacturing, no outdoor storage outside of designated areas, and it does allow the continuance of general office space and accessory building uses. Site layout, screening, and storage standards. These really just confirm that they're going to comply with the site plan that's before you and with the ordinance requirements that apply generally. Also the same with operations and maintenance and compliance. These just reference compliance with the site plan that's before you and compliance with the city's ordinance requirements. They do it in great detail, but that's really what they boil down to. That is it.
Thank you. With that, I'm going to ask any comments from Commission. Then, hearing no comments, we would accept, yes. Hearing no comments, we would accept the motion from.
Oh, I'm sorry. Chair, to the chair. Motion to approve PCZR 26-0001.
Do I have a second?
That would be a motion for the favorable recommendation.
I'm sorry, yes. Motion for favorable recommendation of PCZR 26-0001.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Martin, seconded by, I heard Commissioner Brenner. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You have 100% approval there, which opens the door for the next item. That would be PSLU 26-0002. Mr. Pezon. No, we're still. But if
You
could
still
a
have the
seat.
special land use, so take a seat for a minute.
Okay, got it. Yep. This is the public hearing for the special use portion. We would need to open a public hearing, take comment, and then discuss.
I think if we could, though, Tom, can you just review the hours of operation? Because that's
Yeah,
a special
the
land
hours
use
of
consideration, and anything else that's specific to the the use itself?
Yeah, the conditions we're proposing to allow the special use, and we'll get into this in the resolution, but specifically, obviously, approval of the site plan by the city planner. The I-1 district delegates site plan administratively to the city planner. Continuous compliance with all applicable codes, ordinances, laws, statutes. Petitioner must perform all work under plans, permits, and final inspections by the city. That's one of our standard conditions. And then the hours of operation will be Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., which were offered by the applicant.
Any other comment? Then petitioner,
Actually, you need to open the public hearing.
I do directly, not,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
Then with that, we will open the public hearing. We have the same petitioner at the same site. This is a hearing that has to address the special use of the property. And again, I would invite anyone to present themselves, and you would have 3 minutes to present. And once again, sir, I would like your name and your address.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ron Reynolds, 40900 Woodward Avenue.
And I think I heard you speak up. I'm having a hard time hearing you. too.
I'm sorry. That's usually not a problem for me. I apologize.
Okay.
40900 Woodward Avenue, Bloomfield Hills.
Okay.
Ron Reynolds from the firm of Hilgerham, and you mentioned there was a memo earlier. And I represent American Commerce Center Association. This one, I'm curious to hear how the planning staff gets around the actual language of the ordinance. This is within the Article 20 Industrial District I-1. It allows for these yards under a special use permit, but subject to this language, which is on page 335 of the ordinance. It's subparagraph 2B of that section, which states, the following special land uses only shall be allowed on properties with at least 100-foot wide frontage on West 8 Mile Road. Well, this property is not on 8 Mile, and there's no way to meet this requirement that's in the ordinance. And the ordinance doesn't say anywhere that this requirement can be waived by the Planning Commission or anyone else. So I don't know how the petitioner plans to meet that condition of the ordinance. It's not addressed in their presentation, and it's right there in a piece of paper. You can all look at it. It's your zoning ordinance, which this body is, enacted to uphold, essentially. That's my key issue there. It's in direct violation of the special land use provision within the industrial zoning area. And I think that's probably why it's all required to be on 8 Mile, is because of the type of use, the industrial use that they're proposing. I will say that I'm a little surprised that these recommended resolutions are being put before you before you've even heard the public hearing, because it seems to me to minimize the significance of the public hearing if the planning staff has already made a recommendation to you before the public hearing even has started. Having said that, I'll rely on your ordinance. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Again, any other comments? Anyone else would like to present? Yeah, would you like to present? Would you like to come to the microphone?
Is this for E?
Yes.
I can't hear you, you're not speaking into the mic. We
Right.
can't hear you out there. Good evening, my name is PG. I'm a property owner in the city of Southfield, and I have a very long history with the city of Southfield. I just had an opportunity to ask the petitioner a really quick question. Storing the landscaper products there, will it pose a problem for the residents? Like, to live in such a nice apartment building, will they be able to see it? He said that it would be contained, but that the residents, over 50% of them, have said that they won't have a problem with it. I guess from a standpoint of just caring about the city and having been around Southfield for 45 years and have been involved in the process the entire history that I have with the city, I think it's a good idea, but at any point in time, would the petitioner be willing to maybe conceal it a little bit more with a concrete post and panel wall, some kind of decorative fence or shed device if the other tenants that will be moving in would say they have a problem with looking at it. But you always want to, with a business, get the input from the people that will be doing business with you. And I think to have 50% of their committed residents to say that they don't have a problem is great, but we also have to think about moving forward, going forward, getting more people, if they would have the same consensus. But other than that, I support it. I'm looking forward to that building being something different. It's like, I remember back in the 80s when we had a lot of Fortune 500 companies in the city of Southfield, and it seems like when the trending changed and everybody wanted to go near the water or move in other places, we lost that. And these buildings just cannot afford to sit there and not be redeveloped or repurposed. So I'm looking forward to it. I drive that route a lot. And I think to Miss Andrea's comment, the senior place, Brookdale, is further down than where this building is located. If I'm remembering correctly, this building is closer to Inkster, and Brookdale is up there by the cemetery.
25 seconds.
Huh?
You have 25 seconds.
Okay. But can you speak in the mic, Mr. Chairman? I'd like to hear you.
Name and address for the record,
Yes,
please.
and I don't think we got your name and address for the record.
P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan, 48037-0155.
And
My
for the
telephone
record, your
number is 248-832-2799.
And for the record, can we have your name?
Yes, PG.
We will accept that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioners, I am going to, we have further questions. I'm going to start on the end.
You have to just make sure that everyone's spoken at the public hearing, then close the public hearing before we bring the petitioner back
I
up.
didn't understand that. I'm sorry.
Need to make one more call if there's anyone else in the public, and then
Okay,
close
I
the
will do
public
that.
hearing before you bring the petitioner back
I
up.
will do that. Then is there anyone else who would like to present? You would have 3 minutes to express whatever concern you would have, and that we would ask that you comply with the rules that we had outlined at the beginning of this session. See none, that is closed. With that, I'll talk with commissioners. I'll start this time with Commissioner Stevens-Gunn.
No further questions or comments?
Commissioner Martin.
At one time, I believe in the initial presentation, it was talk about covering or tarps over something. I don't remember 100%. It seemed like we mentioned something about that, but basically, I don't remember seeing anything in any of our ordinances where the beautification of the spot, looking down on it, was something that was covered. Am I mistaken on that? Commissioner Crowe?
I think if we looked at the existing conditions, right, there's a tented area that covers maybe road salt,
Yes.
right? And I don't know if Mr. Martin is asking whether or not you would provide some type of covering over the outside landscape materials similar to the tent that's covering the road salt. I think that's your question.
I would only be looking at large drop areas like having mulch dropped or
Right,
dirt
but
and ice.
where their bins are,
Yeah.
you're asking if that could be covered by a similar type of material like the
Yeah.
salt?
We could add domes similar to a salt covering. One, the material doesn't stay there that long, and two, our feeling was that actually that dome would extend higher and be more of a visual distraction.
Yeah. Now I recall, yeah, because we talked about having the tarps over it and having colors. That's more of a nuisance than decoration. Yeah.
Correct, and the material is not intended to stay there.
Yeah. And here again, looking out a window, people tend to look out, not down. So, you know, I don't see that as an issue. But thank you. And I think the information you're providing for the service that you provide covers a lot more than people think. It's not something that everyone's using on a daily basis. It's in and out, and that's basically it. You drop your stuff there, you pick up the supplies for the day's work, and leave. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bernuti.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I would like to address PG's comment about how beautiful Southfield looks. I just want you to know that Continuum is the company that has been servicing 5000 Town Center for many years, and everyone knows that they always get a very, very good review. So I'm really on board with this. I think they do a beautiful job with those places that they service, and I think you can be assured of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Gruber?
No questions.
Thank you. I have just one comment, and that is, when we started, I was torn between the aesthetics and the kinds of businesses that are near you. I think that's probably one of the principal things that's in the letters in opposition. I am glad you were able to present. I am glad that I heard most of the residents would have no problems with it. And I appreciate your effort to make sure that you have the heightened fence, and I think some other things you've done to protect it. I'm still torn by that, but I don't know if it's going to make a difference one way or another. But I do appreciate you giving us the information for us to share.
Thank you. Just to clarify, it was that we have the support of at least half. We didn't go to every single tenant because we've got a lot of smaller tenants. I'd be on the phone until the cows came home. But we do have support of at least 50% of our tenants in the building per the support letters we sent you.
Okay. With that, commissioners, do we have any further questions? Anyone? Then, Mr. Faison.
I don't know, Chair, if you had any last comments before we moved on to... We do have a recommended resolution. In this case, we are also recommending the Planning Commission make a favorable recommendation. Council is the final deciding body to the City Council, or PSLU 26-0002. The special request to operate the landscape contractor's yard in southeastern corner of the parcel, 2777 Franklin. This would be setting the special land use standards in the I-1 district, because that would be the applicable district if the zoning's approved. Obviously, the special land use would be moot if the rezoning doesn't pass. The proposed use, such size and character, would be in harmony with appropriate orderly development. In this case, the RC district and the industrial district, the one which is going to be, but the one it's going to be part of also. The location, size, and intensity of the operation is designed to eliminate any possible nuisances likely to emanate therefrom. And proposed uses in accord with spirit and purpose of this chapter, not consistent, contrary to with the chapter of sound principles of planning. Proposed use of such character in the vehicle traffic generated not to have adverse effect or detrimental effect on the surrounding land uses or adjacent thoroughfares. Proposed use of such character, intensity, and range to eliminate any adverse effects resulting from noise, dust, dirt, glare, odor, or fumes. Proposed use will not be adverse to the promotion of health, safety, and welfare of the community. Approval is used based on the documents, facts, representations, stipulations submitted by the applicant, placed on the record during the public hearing by the petitioner and their representatives. Conditions be the subject of the approval of the site plan by the city planner, continuous compliance with all applicable ordinance and codes, laws, and statutes, permission to perform all work under plans, permits, and final inspections approved by the city. Hours of operation Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I probably should have put it in here, like, obviously this is conditioned on the rezoning passing as well. This becomes, if this gets to council and council decides not to approve the rezoning, they'll just not proceed on the special land use. It becomes moot. So that's kind of built in.
Okay. With that, did that elicit any further questions from any commissioners?
No.
Then we would accept a motion.
I'd like to make the motion. I'd like to make a favorable motion for PSLU 26-0002.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been forwarded by Commissioner Bernucci, seconded by Commissioner Martin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion moved unanimously, so thank you and good luck before council.
Thank you, everyone. We
See
appreciate
you
your
on the
service.
lawn.
Have a good evening.
You too.
I'm just going to give them 5 seconds to clear, and then I'll call the next person. Next item on the agenda is PSP 26-0002. It is the site plan review of Ayob Oil. The presenters are here, if they would. Okay.
Want to make sure
Okay,
someone's here.
Mr. Payson.
As mentioned, this is a request to make an addition to the existing oil change at 27364 West 8 Mile. They want to add an attached additional bay for tire service. Initially, it was going to be separate, but the plans have been revised, as we discussed at the study meeting. The area is B3 zoning, regional mixed use, land use, which is consistent. This is the existing site aerial. As you can see, the small two-bay oil change, access from both streets on the corner. Here's a site photo of it. Another site photo from Inkster. This is the proposed site plan. As you can see, it's a building addition on the right side of the building. We are still working on one correction, and we've already discussed it with them, is where they're showing a connection to the sidewalk. They're showing it as a crosshatch, but that would actually have to be concrete with the ADA ramp on the parking lot side to get down that 6-inch curb. But we've made them aware of that, and we'll get that in the final plan. There were a couple of items we asked for corrections on last time. They're taking care of those. As you can see, the bike rack's kind of south of the new bay of the building in that striped area. They've got a ped access to the street, the sidewalk now, which they didn't used to have, dumpster enclosure up in the top corner, which is also a new addition to bring the site up to code. Landscape plan, they are adding landscaping around the ends of the parking stalls facing the streets to screen those from the streets as is currently required, and around the dumpster enclosure because there's a home to the north there and one to the east. Soften that up. This is elevations and renderings of the building. As you can see, to the left is the existing building, and then the masonry building with the overhead door on the right is the addition. Petitioner is present if you have any comments.
And sir, could you give us your name and your business address, and if you could add to that opening statement?
Yes, my name is Ahmed Darbas. I'm the architectural designer and project manager for this development. The address of the job is at 27364 8 Mile Road. And I'm here representing today my client.
Okay. Then, this is a site review.
And I will note, Mr. Chairman, because this is a site plan, there is no actual public hearing. It's just a ruling, and the deciding body is this body.
Right.
So,
Feel powerful because of that. Commissioners, I can start with Commissioner Gruber,
I don't have any questions at this time.
Commissioner Bernucci.
Thank you. Have you received any comments from the neighbors around there? There's some neighbors that are quite close to this property.
We have not have any opposing comments from anyone surrounding us.
Okay.
Excuse me.
And you will be,
People are having a problem hearing.
oh, I'm sorry. You mean hearing me or hearing?
Both.
Oh, thank you. Did everyone hear my question? Oh, you did. I wanted to know if any of the neighbors, the surrounding neighbors in the area, very close to where you are, did you have any comments, pro or con, in reference to you building this?
Yes, we have not received any formal or informal comments opposing this job.
And you will be providing used tires, right?
Correct.
So how will these tires be delivered? Where will they be? I mean, where will you put them on this property, and how will it be rotated? How will you take the old tires off and onto the other tires that'll be put on the cars?
We are showing on the proposed floor plan where the tire racks are inside of the building, so they will be stored inside of the building. Another thing is that it will be a mix of used tires and new tires, but mostly they are used tires. There's a specialized company that on average come at least once a week that drop off and pick up the used tires that were changed.
On sheet A1 in your packet, there's an actual floor plan that shows the tire racks to the doors to one side, the tire racks to the left. So if you look at the elevation, you see how the door's there? To the left there where the door, because the door's kind of to the right, to the left is actually where the tire racks are if you look at the floor plan.
Okay, so the tires will be replaced on your property where the oil change place is, or where? Or will they just be coming and picking up the tires and leaving?
The tires themselves are inside the building. There is a wall separating where the bay where the tires are going to be changed and versus the bay where oil change is being done. The proposed addition is actually the size of a two-car garage, but half of it is basically being used for storage and doing the actual change of the rim, and the other half is basically where the car will be parked when it's being worked on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Commissioner Martin.
Can you go back on the slide that show where you were talking about the tire racks?
Yeah.
It's unfortunately, I didn't put a floor plan slide in here. It's on sheet A1 in your packet. Is the floor plan-
A1?
Yep, so the first one in the top left says floor plan. The racking on the side there is what you're looking for.
Okay, thank you. There it is. It's going to be a lot of
So after the site plan sheets, SP1, SP2, SP3, the first sheet A1 is floor plan. The top left plan, you can see the racking is to the
Okay,
left of
yeah.
the door.
Okay.
So they do the tire changing in front of the door. So you pull the car in, the tires are all stored to the left.
You said you will be doing new and used tires?
Yes, but mostly it's going to be used. Most of the stock will be used tires.
Are these retreads or just customer supported or tires that you have on hand?
No, it's basically people tend to swap out. I mean, everyone is different, of course, but there's people tend to swap out their tires for used tires just because they're cheaper than buying brand new tires. It's a preference, of course, for the customer, but this is the business that will be carried out.
So, yeah, all right, yeah.
So maybe, let's say we have...
It's not important. Yeah.
I can provide a little enlightenment. I used to, when I was a college student, I used to buy used tires, and the gentleman I got up for in Detroit were Warlac tires, which have been around forever. But what would happen is people buy new cars, and they don't like the tires that come from the manufacturer. They'll go in and swap for better tires and sell the new tires that came with the car to a dealer like these folks.
Not part of the site plan.
Yeah, yeah. It's just that's how that business kind of works.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Stevens, guy.
I have no questions.
My comment is, I love the rendering. The building look a little bit older, and so the upgrading, I think, is something that's going to be beneficial to all of us. I wish you well in your business. And so I have no additional questions.
Thank you.
Okay, and commissioners, with that, do you have any further questions? And Mr. Pazak?
Yep. We do have a recommendation. We are recommending the Planning Commission approve the site plan as presented. With that one minor change, we will straighten out. They've already agreed to do. Based on the appearance, these are the criteria that are in the site plan review standard that were applicable. Appearance, obviously, it's consistent with the building, and it's a nice update. Coordination with adjacent sites, compliance with zoning requirements. They don't need, I believe they don't need any waivers. That is correct, they don't need any waivers. We determined that zero setback on the site is actually permitted. Pedestrian circulation access, they're adding a connection to the sidewalk, which the site did not previously have. Site design characteristic, the site circulation is actually quite functional, even for the garbage trucks. It's pretty roomy. The vehicles can move through it, and the pedestrians now. Vehicle access and circulation as noted. We are looking at this being based on the documents, facts, representations, and stipulations submitted with the application and placed on the record at the hearing or at the meeting. Couple conditions: site and building to be developed consistent with the revised plans before you, and that the petition is to implement the recommendations by the Southfield Police Department's Crime Prevention Bureau regarding site security, which is a general one that we put on most site plan approvals, and then continuous compliance with all applicable codes, ordinance, statutes, laws, and all work to be performed under plans, permits, and final inspections by the city.
Thank you.
To the chair, I have a question in that we have police department approval, but because of being tires, that's something that a fire would have a different effect than
The fire marshal has to inspect the facility before it gets a certificate of occupancy, and they did review these plans.
Okay.
So they are aware there's going to be tire storage in the building, and I believe it probably has to fire-rated wall as a result, is my understanding.
Correct. 2 hours.
2-hour fire-rated walls because of the tire storage. And if we're above a certain amount of tires, that would probably trigger other requirements, but the fire marshal will do a walkthrough to make sure he's confident with it before final certificate of occupancy.
I just wondered because we had the police. and
Yeah,
didn't
that's
say
just the
fire.
site security thing. So like say if there turns out to be an issue and the police recommend something that changes the site security, this is just to say, hey, you really should comply because they're trying to help you.
Okay.
They're trying to help the community. So it's one that we generically put on all site plan approvals because sometimes you can't anticipate the problems before the project goes up. Sometimes things crop up later.
Through the chair,
Yes.
I recommend that the planning commission accept the favorable recommendation for PSP 26-0002, site plan review.
Is there any support?
Support.
It has been moved by Commissioner Stevens-Gunn, supported by Commissioner Martin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is also unanimous, and so I thank you and I wish you all the best.
That's
Thank you.
approval. We'll get you, you can then now apply for your permits. We'll get it into the system tomorrow and you'll be able to apply for your permits.
Thank you. I'll send the application.
Yep.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe that brings up our next item, PSP 26-0003. This is also a site plan review, Plum Hollow Market, 21969 West 9 Mile Road. The petitioner is here, I'm going to assume, and with that, Mr. Payson.
Yep. This is the location of the former Plum Hollow Market, which unfortunately burned down and then had to be demolished. This is the replacement market that they're proposing in the same location, on the same site. It is B3 zoning, so it is a permitted use, consistent with the master plan. Here's a site aerial showing the old Plum Hollow Market, how it sat on the site up there by the corner, with parking kind of wrapped around to the side between it and the building to the east. This is a more recent photo of the site. Unfortunately, the market was damaged to the point that it had to be demolished. This is the proposed site plan. You've got the market up in the corner again. Then there's a little bit area in the back for access along the back of the building, which is to the south. The entrance to the market, instead of being on the front, will actually be facing the parking lot. Your ADA parking will be right there by the entrance. And then the rest of your parking kind of wraps down and around. We are adding a little bit of a greenbelt buffer along the north end there, along the private, because there has to be some screening there. They are doing kind of a crosswalk where the sidewalk is, striped in, and then there'll be a walkway that comes down to the door from the sidewalk. Landscape plan, as we can see, there's going to be some, originally they showed pavement on the north and on the west side of the building. It was engineering that asked that extra pavement be taken out, so now they're showing landscaping in those areas. And they've added the small landscape area to screen the parking lot along 9 Mile as well. As you can see here, this is the building. Instead of that little angle at the end, it's a rectangular building. The door is facing the parking lot side, right where that ADA ramp is at, the main ADA ramp is at. Then you get your shopping areas and your back of house. One of the things we talked about a little bit of time was the elevations. This is the entrance, which would be the east side, and then the north side facing 9 Mile. And then in response to our comments that they needed to make the side facing the other street a little more attractive and make it look less like back house, they have wrapped the cornice, put a couple of false windows in, and are showing some signage on that side as well, which really kind of makes the look of the building more consistent where it faces the street, the public. So we do appreciate that. That was very helpful. Got our elevation there.
Tom, can you go back to that? Is it possible, I like the modern awnings that you have on the north side of the building. Can you put the 2 awnings over those faux windows just so it's more compatible? Thank you.
Consistent.
Yeah. That would really make it stand out and it would become less obvious those are faux windows because the awnings would shade them a little bit.
Yeah.
Be probably just a good continuous look on that. Elevations, the petitioner is present, so if they have any additional comments.
Thank you, and could you give your name and that address? And
David Yono, 2199 West 9 Mile Road, Southfield.
thank you.
Adnan Al-Sati, A&M Consultants, 835 Mason, Dearborn.
Thank you. And we're looking for what you can add to Mr. Payson's introduction of it.
Pardon me?
We're looking
Do
for...
you have anything to add? Do you have any additional comments you want to make?
No, I'm pretty much, was,
Okay. And I'm wondering, can you hear me decently?
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's a struggle hearing, so thank you. But you have no further comments?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I am going to turn the floor over to my colleagues and start with Commissioner Stevens-Gunn, if you have any questions.
Good evening. Again, I'd like to thank you for rebuilding the Plum Hollow. I look forward to visiting it as soon as the doors open.
Thank you.
Commissioner Murray.
Do you have, once you go through final approvals with city council, what is your build time? Approximately how long from approval to
Anywhere,
finishing?
it depends on the approval, when they approve it, probably anywhere from 6 to 8 months, I would say, maybe less, maybe more,
Okay. And thank you for staying in Southfield.
Thank you.
Okay.
Also, I believe you mentioned that you were staying in touch with as many former employees as possible. Do you
Yes,
still?
definitely, I'm going to contact all my old employees, and some of them are contacting us, they're willing to come back.
Okay.
We'll get them first, and if not, then we'll get other people.
Southfield residents, hopefully.
Yes.
But hopefully you have your old employees coming back as many as possible.
A lot of them are, they are going to come back.
Yeah. Thank you for staying and rebuilding.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bernuti.
We are all excited.
Yes.
We are very excited about this because we were so hopeful, and I've had so many people from Southfield ask, were you going to build? So I would just like to thank you for staying here and ask also, how many employees will you need?
It's going to be a little bit bigger now, probably a little bit more than before. Mostly, especially in the meats and the deli, that's where most of the, workers are going to be. So probably at least, anywhere from 12 to 18, depends,
Okay.
how busy we are and,
Well, we'll be excited to have a place so close to where we live to get some good meat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Gruber.
It looks, the building's beautiful, and best of luck. It really looks good.
Thank
And
you.
as you can see, everyone is very excited.
Yes. Hopefully, we'll get our approvals fast so we can, start building,
Even I just wanted to, I'm not sure if we made it a record. What are your hours of operation?
From 8 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night.
Okay, and is that 6, 7 days?
7 days.
Okay.
Tom, in here it says 9 to 9.
Yeah, that must have been the numbers we were
Okay,
given
just
previously,
checking.
but
Yeah.
it's because it's a site plan approval and not a special land use. We typically don't condition
Oh,
hours
okay. All
for
right.
special site
I
plans.
just wanted to make sure it wasn't a problem.
Any retail business could be open, kind of normal business hours. It's a permitted use.
Okay. Mr. Pazon?
Through the chair, though.
Yes.
First of all, I want to compliment them for upgrading the facade. We worked through that, a few renderings. Very happy with the final product. With the condition of adding those awnings on Losser. And I know you're going to read the conditions of record, Tom, but are there any waivers required?
Yeah, that's one of the ones I actually forgot to add it to the list of conditions. It needs, because of the way it's tucked into the corner, it needs front, side, and rear setback waivers. They are listed in your data sheet for the project. So it will need to go to the zoning board to get those waivers before they can actually get permits to commence construction. But I think, have you applied already?
No, not yet. We're
Yeah, you can,
waiting.
I would get those in tomorrow, like
Yeah.
get that ZBA application in as soon as possible.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about which waivers do we need to do?
Yeah, we've got them listed. I can, just send me an email tomorrow and I'll give you the list.
Okay.
So is this gonna delay us even more?
If you get that application in pretty quick, they could be as soon as, 15-day notice, so it's gonna be at least a couple more weeks. You could get your permits in for review, they just can't issue them until the waivers are approved.
Yeah, so you could have gotten your ZBA application in concurrent with this because this is final site plan.
Yeah, this is final site plan.
But you can, as Tom had indicated, get it in the next day or two. You'll get on the docket. Meanwhile, you can apply for your engineering and your building permits. And then, as Tom said, by the time the ZBA makes issues, they're up or down, you're not going to even be through engineering or building. But you can starting tomorrow, if you get favorable recommendation or favorable approval tonight, you can start with the next phases of your development.
Yeah, you do them in parallel. Do your ZBA application and your permit review applications at the same time, and they'll likely converge to approval kind of at the same time period.
Yeah, you would just need to get your waivers prior to breaking ground.
Yeah, I need those waivers listed.
Yeah, just send me an email in the morning and I'll give you the list.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got it in here, I'll get you that. Yeah, so,
Excuse me, there's a meeting going on and your voices are carrying and interrupting, please.
all right.
Thank
So, we do have a recommended resolution, and this is a site plan, so this is the final body, or the approving body. We do recommend approval of PSB 26-0003, the site plan request of A&M Consultants on behalf of Goldberg LLC to construct a new supermarket building, replacing the former Plum Hollow Market at 21969 West 9 Mile, Southfield, Michigan. Be approved for the following reasons with the following conditions. The applicable standards for appearance, as planner code noted, it's actually it's a pretty decent looking commercial building and probably an improvement on the old market looked a little tired. I mean, I think we can all say that. It was a great market, everybody loved it, but, it was over. Barrier-free access, it definitely improves barrier-free access from the handicap parking to the door, it's right there. So that's obviously an improvement. Coordination with adjacent sites, it's really in much the same configuration as the old one, so it retains that basics functionality. Drainage, because this is new construction, there will have to be some drainage improvements compared to the old system that was there. Pedestrian circulation and access, we're getting a connection to the sidewalk with a good public entrance and a striped crosswalk across that driveway, which was not previously the case. Site design characteristics, it really does fit the odd L-shaped property fairly well and retains the functionality of the original design. Same thing with vehicular access. We are looking at the resolution being based on the documents, facts, representations, and stipulations submitted up with the application and placed on the record by the petitioner and their representatives. The conditions are site and building to be developed consistent with the revised plan set before you, and with the two changes, one of which, well, the change to the awnings being added on the west side of the building. And the petitioner is to implement the recommendations of the Southfield Police Department Crime Prevention Bureau regarding site security, continuous compliance with all applicable ordinances, codes, laws, and statutes, all work to be performed by plans, permits, and final inspections by the city. And the one I forgot to add was to get the zoning waivers from the Zoning Board of Appeals for front, rear, and side setbacks that are required.
And I'll read those if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So the applicant will be required, the front yard setback, 31.8 feet required, 0 proposed, so similar to what was there. Side yard setback on Losser, 20.5 feet required, 5 foot proposed. And then rear yard setback, 15 feet required, 5 feet proposed.
Thank you. Commissioners, hearing comments and the comments of the planners, do you have any questions?
Mr.
Okay.
Chair,
Yes.
I recommend that the planning commission accept the favorable recommendation for PSP 26-0003 site plan review.
Do we have support?
Support.
We have a motion by Commissioner Stevens-Gunn, support by Commissioner Martin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Once again, we have 100% approval. I thank you, and we look forward to doing business with you.
Thank you.
We miss you. I think the bowling alley misses you, too. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Have a nice evening.
You too.
Then I guess we are calling the next item. Capital improvement plan for year 26-27.
Thank you. I'll try to make this a high-level overview because I know that the Planning Commission has reviewed this at least twice. The Council Finance Committee was presented this plan on Monday. Tonight is your regular meeting. Hopefully we'll get a favorable recommendation to City Council, and then it'll be brought back to Council on April 20th for their approval, consideration. Again, what is a CIP, a capital improvement program? Is a schedule of public expenditures for a 6-year period for inclusion into the annual budget. The first year is the actual budget. Years 2 through 6 are projected wish lists or things that are coming down the pipe as determined by the various departments. It doesn't address all capital expenditures for the city, but includes physical improvements that are permanent in nature or substantial equipment purchases typically over $5,000 needed for the city. A CAP is beneficial to the community because it allows for a systematic evaluation of all potential projects. At the same time, it provides coordination between departments and presents a uniform plan for financing. The State Planning Enabling Act gives the Planning Commission the responsibility, after an adoption of a master plan, shall annually prepare a capital improvement program of public structures and improvements. And it's also required for our redevelopment ready certification and consistency with our master plan. The capital improvement program shall show those public structures and improvements in the general order of their priority within an ensuing 6-year period. Each agency or department of the local unit of government with authority for public structures or improvements shall, upon request, furnish the Planning Commission with their lists, plans, and estimates of time and cost of those public structures and improvements. We have consistently adopted CIP annually. The last one was adopted in April 25. And a full copy of the final document can be found on the Planning Department's portion of the city's website under Resources. Again, this process begins in December of each year and then subsequently goes through the various review bodies and ultimately will end up at council in April for their adoption. Basically, we broke it down into 8 categories, which includes equipment, facilities, water and sewer, stormwater and floodplains, parks and recreation, data management, roads and bridges, and pedestrian enhancements. Equipment and facilities. The Southfield Public Library is installing energy-efficient chiller, completing paving and redesign of all outdoor areas, updating their boilers and hot water heater, completing their mobile lab improvements, and expanding their technological library. The library has also taken critical steps recently in comprehensive building condition assessment, space programming assessment, and priorities and phasing of major improvements. In the next fiscal year, projects will continue to address priorities. Anticipated cost for everything is over $6 million. And then they broke down various improvements that are needed in the various sectors within their operations. The Southfield Police Department, they continually have handgun transition and other equipment that has current lives of anywhere from 5 to 8 years, so they're constantly updating those, improving technology, improving safety. Ballistic vests have a certain expiration, so every 5 years they replace those. On average, 30 ballistic vests are replaced each year at a cost of approximately $135,000 over the next few years. Flock license plate readers are devices attached to utility poles. The readers assist the police department and other agencies in apprehending security and safety threats. There's a cost of that, approximately $40,000 per year. Axon purchase program. These are upgrading training between stun guns and cameras, body cameras, and so forth. And ballistic helmets. Every sworn officer is issued a ballistic helmet, and the current helmets are expired and require replacement. 120 patrol helmets and 25 SWAT helmets will be replaced at a cost of $190,000 in fiscal year 27-28. They've been talking about crime lab renovation for years now. This is their estimate. I think they're getting close to next fiscal year. They'll be making significant upgrades to the crime lab. Their detention center needs significant upgrades. The Division of Pro Administration renovations required. And they're continually doing building maintenance and repairs. Their men's officer locker room is in need of renovation. The Southfield Police Department, this is their current staffing. Their vehicle purchases over the next fiscal year. They just received the new fire engine, which we had a fire alarm go off today and got to see firsthand what the $1.1 million fire truck looked like. So they're continuing to upgrade and renovate their vehicles. They have equipment needs for their stations and their staffing. Software is an important component of how they track their response time, better control of increased billing collections, and so forth. They currently have 5 fire stations. They annually evaluate location, service needs, and other things. There are some things they can get away with interior and exterior renovations, but they're also in need of some major upgrades. New station number 3 is estimated at $13 million. A new station number 1, another $13 million, and remodeling of station 5 at $19 million. So they have significant capital improvement costs that are required over the next 6 years. Again, this doesn't mean that everything's going to get done. It just shows how they're tracking their improvements and what their needs are. There are exterior renovations that are consistently being done year in and year out to improve accessibility, safety, and functionality of each of their stations. Emergency management is part of overall public safety. FEMA has authorized an equipment list. The new emergency manager coordinator would like to upgrade supplies so that the city is better prepared in an emergency. There's new vehicle for the deputy chief and emergency manager director that is being budgeted. They have some equipment needs and some uniform needs for both their full-time staff and their volunteers. And some emergency management operation needs in case there's emergency, which includes LED video wall in the EOC, which is the Emergency Operations Center. Some separation of use areas between secure and non-secure areas is being recommended. And the municipal campus is continuing needing upgrades. I believe the municipal chiller replacement is the #1 priority currently. I should point out that it costs almost $250,000 just to rent a temporary chiller. So at some point we need to upgrade those. DPW Motor Pool continuously upgrades their fleet. They look at miles, service records, and other repairs. Water, sewer, roads, and bridges. As you know, the engineering department does road assessment and develops a multi-year phasing based on anticipated budgets, anticipated grants, and already committed funds. And they outline that on the city's website. Local roads. And these are current and upcoming road projects. Anytime they do roads, if there's water, sewer that needs to be done underneath, they try to coordinate that as well. So you're not building a new road and then a year later tearing it up to replace the sanitary sewer, stormwater, so forth. So this is their 5-year plan for roads. Stormwater management continues to evolve. There's a greater focus on non-traditional ways to treat stormwater. Eagle is now requiring that stormwater quality be treated as part of new regulations. And it's important to coordinate with other departments. Wherever we can, when we have site plans, we try to include green infrastructure and low-impact design standards and so forth. Bowervic Woods Bioswale and Rain Garden is one of their major projects, as well as the Rouge Green Infrastructure and Tree Planting Project. The GWK Green Infrastructure Program and the Stormwater Utility Study are also important for long-term funding and maintenance. Project location map is identified by our stormwater manager. And future stormwater projects include detention pond retrofits, green infrastructure projects, and stream bank and infrastructure erosion protection. With regard to the Parks and Recreation Department, they're committed to serving our residents' needs by being flexible and innovative in delivering quality services. Through diversity in programs and governance, they advocate in building healthy and active individuals, families, and communities. And they currently supervise and take care of 774 acres of parkland and open space, as well as 7 diverse facilities. Projects on the left are projects recently completed, and on the right are projects in progress. Moving forward, they have a schedule of continuing improvements and new projects. And these are the investment in parks in the last 4 years of over $14 million. Not all of that is city funds, but there are grants and other matching funds that have been included. Data management system. Tech services project is responsible for 3 major core competency: availability of resources, uptime, and security. And they have a number of ongoing and new initiatives with regards to cybersecurity, computer replacements, and server replacements. Document management software, BSNA financial system, and firewall maintenance. Cisco switch replacements, in-car laptop and docking station, and UPS replacements. Secure badging systems, gigabyte telephones, and fiber iNet. And then finally, as planning department is involved in the majority of pedestrian enhancements in cooperation with engineering. We try to promote alternative modes of mobility, create pedestrian links, continue to develop shared use pathway, and promote active living by making it safer to walk or bike. In October 22, our sustainability planner had an employee survey that helped inform or develop a baseline of things that are important, core values of city employees. We've been tracking national recycling averages versus Southfield's recycling average. So although Southfield's average is higher than the national, it's been slipping lately, and there's a lot of room for improvement. That means right now we have less than 1/3 of those homeowners that are recycling. So there's a big improvement, especially if we start including multifamily residents. Most important sustainability issues are health and well-being, climate change, renewable energy. Top priorities is in our sustainable Southfield is infrastructure, quality of life, and environment. And we recently completed a public engagement report in 2025, and that is informing our sustainability action plan that we're developing. We also received funding for a blueprint to zero food waste in Southfield. You may see this. I believe we have about 300 people have signed up to date on taking their food scraps to designated areas, so they're not going into landfill and they become organic materials. So we have those located in several locations, both on public and private property. We have 7 sets of these recyclable bins that we've branded with many of our art and placemaking. And they're basically a demonstration program that we hope to roll out at other facilities. We continue to look at sustainability initiatives, including solar panel lights that are motion activated along some of our major higher use pedestrian pathways. Tree planting is important for the environment, for reducing the heat effect, for creating better quality of life, providing natural habitat. And these next 2 slides indicate where we've focused our tree planting grants that we've received from DTE Energy, as well as a special assessment district and our tree trust fund. So we've been keeping track of where we've been installing these trees. I can tell you we're partnering with our forester to focus on the 9-line corridor this upcoming fiscal year, as well as Civic Center. And this is our 6-year capital project for sustainability. Public art has always been important. We've been working with the public art requirement since, I believe, 2016. And we've been averaging between 2 to 4 public art installations per year. This slide just summarizes some of the more recent ones that were installed last year. Trails and pathways, we continue to fully develop and connect our interior pathways with regional pathways within Southeast Michigan. This map here shows hundreds of miles of regional pathway that already exists that we're working on, connecting Southfield to the 9-mile corridor, which will connect to the I-275 corridor, and the Joe Louis Greenway, which will connect to all these other existing regional trails. And it's our goal that all residents within Southfield, within half mile to a mile of a major bike path, can be able to get on and actually be able to use the entire regional corridor. And here's our 30 linear mile proposed plan that we're working with 10 other communities to connect South Lyon to Hazel Park. But again, what's important is this bisects 2 major regional spurs that will connect to hundreds of other additional miles. Here's our planning progress map for the corridor within Southfield. Some various segments that are still in need of gap infill. Some of the placemaking and pedestrian amenities and bike amenities that we've been working on. Proud to announce that we recently received from Oakland County Transit, Access to Transit, $420,000 to put in a mid-block crossing at Providence Hospital. We've had 2 fatalities in that area from people running across the road. We got major DDOT and SMART bus, many employees and people that are using the healthcare facilities that are a very active area. And we're meeting with the Regional Transit Authority on possible additional funding to help implement this project. And again, why is this important? It's not just for recreation. The city has invested over $22 million between 2015 and 2024 just on 9 Mile. For every dollar that's invested, there's a benefit cost ratio of 7.39. And we had an independent study done through a grant, baseline community assessment, which said that that is astronomical. If you get $1 of investment and $1 of value, you're doing good. And to have 7 times for every dollar you spend is phenomenal. It's a benefit to disadvantaged communities. It reduces several thousand vehicle miles per year, which can reduce fatalities and pedestrian cyclist injuries. It enhances connectivity. It'll increase annual pedestrian and bike trips. It enhances air quality by reducing CO2 emissions, non-CO2, congestion, noise, and operating costs. It can reduce annual health and mortality reduction benefits and increase area desirability by increasing property values to the adjacent properties within 2 square miles of the pathway. We continue to work with outside agencies and partners like Oakland County Parks to look at long-term development of the Rouge Corridor, Valley Woods. We continue to develop wayfinding, and we're currently working on some of the first implementation of the 9-line branding. We've awarded the concrete bases for Beechwoods and Bowervik Woods, and we have a recommendation on the signage package. We had a productive meeting with Oakland Community College today about possibly putting a 3rd sign at their campus at Rutland and 9 Mile in a future trailhead. And this is some of the concept plans that we have. We continue to develop our upgrading our brand for entrance signs into the community. We continue to develop our streetscape and wayfinding plans. Pedestrian enhancements has been very important. Trailhead signage, interpretive panels, and streetscape tying in with the Northland development. Working with our partners in Oak Park for beautification on Greenfield. Development and using the Metro Act funds to build out our bus stop and pedestrian amenity network. I believe we're around 65% have been completed to date. And then our schedule for the past and future improvements at these bus stops. So we're trying to make them more accessible, providing key walks, landing pads, benches, trash receptacles at a minimum, and then other enhancements at larger use facilities. We continue to develop the front lawn to make it more accessible and usable for residents and for activities and events. Promenade was recently developed. New lighting has been put in, benches and trash receptacles. We've got the 250th anniversary banners that have recently gone up, and this will make this area much more accessible to persons with disability and all residents in Southfield. And we have many events planned this upcoming year. June 24th, we've got the Plymouth Fife and Drum Corps coming. We have Uncle Sam on stilts. We have a horse and carriage ride, and we're going to have music and food to celebrate America's 250th and what it means to Southfield residents. And this is a comprehensive list of our capital improvements for the next 6 years. So with that, be happy to answer any questions that the Planning Commission may have. I know I went through it quickly, and I know you've seen this before, but this is for the benefit for the public.
Commissioner, questions?
I have one.
For Commissioner Benudi?
what do you call it, the food waste project?
Yeah,
Composting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
elimination of food.
right.
Elimination of food.
How many of those are around the city now, and how can we get a list of?
Well, our office, we have a website, you can sign up. Mr. Bolin can help. I believe there's about a half a dozen food drop-off
It's
points.
also on the app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to sign up, you get an app, and you'll get a code, so that when you go,
Are you doing it?
it'll only open for those that are using it, so that,
I just
You-
want to say, they came to our synagogue this week, and I went to Lasser Woods, I had to go twice, because it was full.
Yeah.
And the dog park isn't really even being used very much, because we had snow the other
Yeah.
day. It's amazing how many people are participating, it's really exciting.
and we have capacity for more. You'll get a container that you'll keep in your
Right,
kitchen.
yeah.
That's sealed, and
Did
then
you
you
get
bring
that?
that small container when you're out and about, and you drop it off.
I was happy that Suzanne was able to come to my building. I
Great.
invited her to our board meeting, and she gave a presentation of how that program works. And I got one of the little pails. It's amazing how fast you fill that pail up, and how light your garbage is compared to, using it, so.
It's a great program.
Yeah,
It
great.
It really is.
Yeah, and it's a pilot program right now, so we need to make sure we get as many people using it as possible.
I also want to say that twice I've seen Sarah in the library. She's the woman from,
Yeah.
who's organizing it. And I am amazed by the age range of people who want to participate and who say to her, I'll come and volunteer. When are you doing this again? It's really interesting to see so many people, different people, interested in doing this. It's really, really nice.
That's great.
Kudos for
Yeah,
starting it.
it's been a team effort.
Yeah, well, please let her know we appreciate it.
Commissioner Martin.
I have a concern. What, did the emergency management add any counts? How many people they're looking for or anything?
Well, that would be,
Basically-
that wouldn't be covered under a capital improvement program. That'd be personnel and staffing.
I guess my concern is that he has dollar amounts for capital improvements, but no statistics to go along with it.
Well, again, first,
again,
this
yeah.
is a capital improvement program. He's new, and there's also the component of the budgeting process, which will include staffing, salaries, and other needs. That is not covered under the capital improvement program. But our budget, finance director, our city administrator have said to all departments that if you request something in your budget and it's not in the capital improvement
You don't
program,
get it.
you're not going to get funding. So it's taken years to get everybody compliant. We don't have to pull teeth. Everybody submits their stuff. Now, because it's in the CIP doesn't mean it's going to be funded, but if it's not in the CIP, it won't be funded. And this gives the council the ability, as they look year to year within their budget, what is coming down the pipe that might be a big purchase. So I think it's been beneficial for all that we do this. I know it's required, but it wasn't regularly done. It was kind of hit and miss before, or the previous city administrator would just do it on their own with no input from the departments. This process with the support of our city administrator is inclusive of all departments, and with your guidance, this has been a valuable exercise.
Are there, no, thank you.
Commissioner Stevens.
For the community, I'd like to share how this process works. What happens is that departments, each individual department comes and does a presentation. Unfortunately, you all aren't privy to that, but that's one of the initial components. So we as the commission have an opportunity to meet department heads, to hear what their thoughts are, to ask them questions, and it's a very, very interesting process. We learn an awful lot about what their thoughts are and some of the background information as it relates to their requests. So I think that it's very important that the presentation that you saw tonight was just a glimpse of what is happening in the CIP process. I think that to know that we spent hours going through with each department doing a presentation, then the planning department consolidates all that information and prepares it in a package, and then we review that presentation in detail. In a lot of detail. So by the time we get to this portion where Terry does a high-level overview, it has been gone through, we spend months on this. So I think that it's very, very important to share that each one of the departments does a presentation to begin this whole process. And we as the commissioners have truly enjoyed it. And the planning department does a good job of consolidating and condensing it so that it is in a format to be shared.
Thank
Well
you.
said.
I don't know if this can be seen broadly, but this is the end product. And if you had a copy of this, one of the things you would see is how the city is run and how it's managed. I think it's a better barometer. It may be as good a barometer as the state of the city message. You can see every department at work. I look forward to working on this again, and I think we're going to, at some point, sit down and make sure we are doing things for the best interest of the city and for the best possible way of approving it through this body. But I have to give you kudos. This is a big job. It's always well done. I've been on this commission more years than I had anticipated. And I thank you for the effort. You and your staff have done a great job with it.
Yeah, it's kudos to the entire planning staff as well as Sarah Malali, who transitioned from planning over to economic development, but she's still committed to helping to get this process done each year. So I want to shout out to her as well.
The plan is available on the City of Southfield Department website, too.
Yeah, and we should have a hard copy down in the building department counter.
There is one in the lobby.
So if someone can just come in and look at it, but
Yep.
it is on the website as well.
Yeah, we make it available to review in multiple formats. We do need to hold a public hearing and get a recommendation from this body to take it to council next month.
And I was going to ask that. If there's any further questions, then we would entertain a motion.
Actually, we need a public hearing first.
Yeah, do the public hearing.
Yeah, open the public hearing.
I'm so impressed with that. Have an opportunity for public hearing on the capital improvement plan. Anyone wish to, they could have an opportunity to speak to it for 3 minutes. That is open now.
I can't hear you. Is this a public hearing for?
It is the public hearing for the CIP. If you would like to, please approach. Identify yourself by name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
PG P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan, 48037-0155. My telephone number is 248-832-2799, and I can be reached at any time. You know, I like the presentation, and I like all that's intended in this CIP program. But moving forward as a body, I'm going to say it to you, and I'm also going to say it to City Council. I'm hearing that the city is concerned about timelines in terms of when these developers is going to finish, when they're going to have this done, and all of these different landmark times in terms of what they're going to accomplish as far as the project. Be careful doing that, because as a city, we have not always done things. You know, we have not for at least 20 years been in the business of preventing. We seem to wait until it goes down or out, and we absolutely have to do some revisions or remodeling. And you could see that with a lot of the capital improvement programs. For me, because I've been around for a long time, as has the chairman, I've seen apartment complexes put up in a very short amount of time. I've seen houses, for example, Pebble Creek, if you remember it, Mr. Chairman, was put up very quick, and in 6 months, those people were here talking to city council about the foundations, cracks, pulling away from the foundation, and they had water problems in their basement. So I just want to encourage this body like I'm going to encourage city council. We should be honored and humbled to have new development. We should be honored and humbled that people are moving to Southfield. The last census, we got over 6,000 people, and that we have younger families moving back to the city because we are an aging community. When I came, I was in my early 20s. I'm in my 60s, approaching my 7th decade. So, you know, the city is changing, but we just cannot run these petitioners away with trying to put timelines on there because things happen. We have a very unstable economy, and we have to be cautious to that. And I don't know which one of the men said something like you could hear us in the audience. You saw our mouths moving, and I think your mental schema said that we were talking because there's no microphone in the audience, but we cannot hear you. I did hear Ms. Stevens because she projected very well, just like the planner. So you got to speak in the mic. Thank you.
And I thank you.
Yeah, put it here.
Are there any further questions that generate?
Close the
Do I just make one more call to the public, then you can close the public hearing?
Any other comments from public? The public hearing, we have that opportunity. Once again, if there are any other comments, hearing none, public comment options are closed. Okay.
To the chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a proposal,
Motion?
a motion for favorable approval of the capital improvement publication.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded, moved by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Stevens Gunn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We will report that's a unanimous decision, and we can move on to the next item. And I thank the presenters for the comments that you made. They're very, very helpful. I think we're at review of draft minutes.
Yeah, there's just a couple more slides. We have minutes for February 4th, 11th, and the 25th that were in your packet. Obviously, the first two were prepared by staff. The third one is our typical transcription by the transcription service for the actual regular meeting.
To the chair, motion to approve the February 4th study meeting minutes and the February 11th study minutes, CIP study meeting minutes, and the February 25th regular meeting minutes as provided.
We have a motion by Commissioner Martin. Any second?
I'd like to second, but I wanted to make sure that there was a correction made on the February 4th, the date. It said January 11th, but it was February 11th.
It's the last page.
Very last page under miscellaneous.
Then would we want to modify the motion to include that correction?
February 11th.
It says, Payson reminded the commission of the upcoming CIP study meeting that will be held on January 11th.
Yeah, it should be February 11th.
Okay.
So if you wouldn't mind amending your motion to approve as amended.
Approve as amended, as corrected and amended, yes.
Okay. Then we have a second. It has been motioned by Commissioner Martin, supported by Commissioner Bernuti. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is again unanimous. Opens up the door for public comment. If anyone wants to address commission on any subject. That opportunity is now.
Did we do all three?
Yeah.
Minutes? We did, okay.
Yeah, we did. Thank you. You have 3 minutes, and if you would, again, your name and your address.
PG P.O. Box 155, Southfield, Michigan, 48037-0155. My telephone number is 248-832-2799. I really would like to see the plan. My husband fought for many years to get these meetings recorded because people really didn't know what was going on behind closed doors. I would like for this committee to market themselves as a recommending body, because a lot of times when people are watching these meetings, they have a tendency to say, well, the planning department approved it, not really understanding that you are a recommending body and you recommend whether or not you would approve this to council, and council is the ultimate decision-making body. I don't know that you do this if you've done it in the last couple of years, because I've been on some other things and I haven't been able to come to the meetings as regular as I used to, but I'm going to start. When you recommend approval for something, can you be a little bit more detailed and expand as to why you are approving this particular thing and recommending for council to approve it? And that would just be great for me and some of the other people that call me and say, why doesn't planning do this? So, and then I wanted to ask you a question. And Mr. Martin mentioned about Homeland Security and that CIP, and you said that the person is new. The person is maybe new to the city and the position, but not necessarily new to the concept of the job that they're performing in the city of Southfield. And I agree with Mr. Martin. Have CERT workers been hired? Are they still being trained? At one time, Southfield had the best CERT workers, and now you've got other areas that have surpassed the city of Southfield with their CERT workers and training. And it just seems like we've lost that.
You have 30 seconds.
I see the clock, Mr. Willis. And I know the time it takes for you to tell me that. You kind of distract me for 2 or 3 seconds for me to hear you, but I'm looking at the clock. So, but I'm going to try to finish in the 15 seconds and counting down that I have. I would like to have the CERT workers to be better trained, and this person to be a little bit more involved in terms of communicating with these CERT workers. You got to know the city of Southfield, and you have to know the projects and the things that's going on here. You can't just have the job, not live in the city, and not really know what's going on. Thank you.
I thank you so much.
Just as a point, I was talking about emergency management.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I said Homeland Security, I apologize. But you knew what I was talking about.
Are there any other persons who would like to address commission? Are there any other persons? Seeing none, that opportunity is now closed. Mr. Pazan, council update.
Yeah, just a couple of things that were dealt with by council on Monday are the 8-mile Greenfield Bridge lighting project. We finally got to the point where we got from MDOT what we need for them to issue the permit. We went to council, got authorized for a resolution of support because it's an aesthetics project, and a authorization to execute the agreement with MDOT to actually mount stuff on their bridge. So we got that authorized. We'll be moving to the next step on that project. Hopefully, something we'll actually see working before too long. We got a few little kinks still to work out in that process before they're installed, but we're getting there. We got authorized to buy the next round of bench and trash receptacles to improve our bus stops and pedestrian respite stations by council. Anything over $10,000, we got to get approval from council to go out and do that. So we went to council, got authorization to buy those, so we can start installing another round of them. If you recall, we installed like 42 last year because we had a grant. This year we'll be back to our typical 10, 12, but got to keep chipping away at it. Authorized contract to install the concrete bases for the 9-line signs at Bowervick and Beechwoods Parks. That was authorized. We can now award that contract to proceed with that work. And the council authorized a 12-month extension for the MUCD approval for 19111 West 10 Mile. That's that white building. That's kind of a pedestal with parking underneath. They were coming up on their 18-month approval for that, and they requested the 12-month extension. They're still trying to work out the financing, and they're looking at potentially going from apartments to doing condos and maybe some rework of the design to try to value cost it. One of the things that, interestingly, more of the development numbers guy was there, and he said, unfortunately, right now, they're at a point where it would cost $10 million to do the project, and it'd be worth $7.5 million when it was done. So they really need to figure out how to close that gap. That's where they're at right now. And they said they're not sure they'll be like full into construction in 12 months, but they'll know whether or not it's feasible by then. And it's hard to pursue financing if you don't have land use entitlements. So that was kind of where they're at. And then the drone-related land use regulations you looked at, those were actually approved. It would have been in February, but there was an issue with the notice, so we did the public hearing and got those approved on Monday. So they'll get published and become effective in about the next 2 weeks.
Thank you. I'm able to respond. I really appreciate hearing those. It kind of lets us know that we're doing something. So thank you for that.
A lot going on. Looking at miscellaneous, obviously we have April 8th study meeting, 6:30 p.m. The long-range study meeting, I don't have anything for that agenda, and since you passed a recommendation for the Franklin, there was a possibility that might have come back on that meeting, but that wouldn't be the case now because you passed your recommendations to council. That's going to council next. So we could consider cancellation of that meeting, and then April 29th, 2026, we have our regular meeting.
To chair,
Yes.
recommend cancellation of the April 15th long-range study meeting.
Do we have support? It's been moved by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Bernuti. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have reached the end of
Before you
No.
adjourn, can I just say one thing? I want to publicly thank you for all that you do to run these meetings so smoothly and for keeping people in order and keeping things moving.
Well, thank you. I see myself blundering through.
Well, no, I don't think so. And there were comments made this evening that offended me for you. So I just want you to know, I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
For what it's worth.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Through the chair, before we dismiss, at the end of April, from April 26th through April 29th, the department is participating in the national meeting. Planner Crow, can you give us a little bit of background about that, as well as can you let us know how we can participate?
Yes, thank you. So every year, the American Planning Association puts on a national planning conference. Each of us who are American Institute of Certified Planners, which is all three of us here tonight, we have 15 continuing maintenance requirements each year, 30 in a 2-year period. They also include so many credits for law, diversity, equity, inclusion, environmental sustainability, and I forget what the fourth one is.
Resilience?
There's 4 required units, and then the rest of the units can be selected on areas of interest. And as the planning director, I typically attend the National Planning Conference. Our staff typically attends the Michigan Association of Planning Conference. Similar, smaller scale, focused on Michigan. This year, the National Planning Conference is being held in Detroit, April 25th, which is a Saturday, the 26th, a Sunday, the 27th, a Monday, and I believe it's half a day on Tuesday, the 28th. I have submitted and successfully been approved to do 2 mobile workshops. Saturday, April 25th from 1 to 5 p.m. We're going to be getting on a bus at the, is it Huntington Place now? The old Cobo Hall. And coming up to the DDA, have a presentation on the history of Northland and the various developments, then get on the bus and tour various aspects of Northland. And those that are signed up can get credit for that based on the material and expertise and amount of discussion that's held. And then we return back to Detroit. I had to provide a itinerary, a direction, a turn-by-turn direction, and every 15 minutes that gets used for the maintenance credits. Then Sunday morning, we're doing it all over again, but the focus will be on arts and placemaking. So we're leaving at 8 in the morning from Detroit, coming up here to City Hall. We'll have a presentation here in the chambers on our art collection. And then we have 3 stops, including walking around the campus. We're going to get on a bus, go over to Red Pole Park, park at the hotel. We're going to walk, see half a dozen pieces, get on the bus, go across the street to Eaton Corp., see the monarch butterfly and sustainable garden, then drive down to LTU, get off and walk along the trail and see some of the murals, Hubert Massey's mosaic and the Key. And then on the way out, we're going to swing down 9 Line and talk about the 9 Line Trail. So I'm working with our team. We're preparing a updated new brochure on 9 Line corridor for Southfield, updating an arts brochure, and some other handouts that we'll have. The bags that we've been giving out, we've branded with the 250th logo, and the new Bumblebee sculpture will be featured. The shipping is going to be close, whether or not we're going to get it in time, but we want to have a swag bag for all the participants. I also had been asked to be a co-presenter with Oak Park on their 9 Line Trail, but it conflicts with one of our mobile workshops. But we will be providing them with the swag and our brochures, so we'll hit another 25 to 50 people nationally. There will be some volunteer opportunities. I'm going to be sending out a list shortly, probably by next week, with our itinerary. We would like some ombudsmen here to greet people as they get off the bus. You can participate in the presentation. You can follow us on the tours, both for Northland and here, if you would like to help represent. We have volunteers from the Arts Commission that are going to volunteer, and we got members from the DDA as well, plus all our staff. We want to put out a red carpet welcoming. Every time I've been on a mobile workshop in another community, I'm always impressed, not only with the presenters, but with the locals who greet us. We'll have some light snacks provided at both. But, when you get off the bus and you can have a little sidebar with 1 or 2 or 3 of the members, it just further enhances. So we will be sending that shortly, and we have, not unlimited slots, but as far as we did check in about whether we can register you for a day, and that they don't do that anymore, so we couldn't offer that to you guys. But you can participate in our mobile workshops if you'd like. You don't have to be registered for the conference to do that. And if you want to give it half an hour, or more, that's up to you.
Through the chair?
Yes.
Oh, there she goes.
Should we ask for the second now?
I'm done. I recommend that we adjourn the meeting.
Do we hear a second?
Thank you, Flannery Crowe.
Okay, all approved. Meeting is adjourned.